Hi, welcome back. Happy New Year. I never know how far back I should be sitting from the camera. I always feel like I need to have my face right up in that, but I kind of like the aesthetic when I watch other people's and they're sitting a little bit farther back. One of my favorite videos to watch on YouTube during pregnancy are what people are using. I am always interested to see, even though my kids aren't like very old, they're 6 and 7, there's so much that changes in a short amount of time for like baby items and gear. And I know that the baby people who create baby gear must make a killing. But I did save a decent amount of things that are still available and I think helpful. But like all the clothes are gone. I have like one newborn outfit that my second son came home from the hospital in that I'll probably use, but I know it's his and it's like, I saved a tote that's like probably a medium-sized, if you can imagine, tote, like typical medium-sized tote. And I had decided early on whatever fit in that is like what I could keep clothing shoe-wise for them, but I will use for the new baby. But it was more like sentimental things, like things they came home from the hospital in. There's like some UP clothes that I thought were cute that their like kids might want to wear. They might want to have their children wear one day if they have children. Red Wings things, because we're, you know, Michigan family, so we love our Red Wings, and we're from the UP, so we're more the Upper Peninsula, we're more hockey fans. Things like that are just more like sentimental. Some really stinking cute Vans shoes, so that I just couldn't part with. Thankfully, I did keep some like handy stuff. And like this one, I'm going to show you first. I actually didn't use very much or very often, either or, because I ended up purchasing it when my baby, I think I got it with my second one. It had to have been. I ended up not using it very much because well, for one, we had a queen size bed at the time and it didn't really fit that great, but it was handy for a little bit. But he got to the point quickly where it just was better to have him in like a bassinet versus this. But I thought I would give it a go again. We have a king size bed this time, which I think will make it easier. But it's like a in-bed co-sleeper. I saw that they still have them available at Walmart, because I'm pretty sure that's where I got it. It's the First Year's brand. I took everything apart and washed it. This was, like, I did have a small tote in the basement that had some stuff in storage, which I ended up throwing everything away because it was like bottles, an old breast pump, and it just didn't look great. But this actually looked decent. Maybe because I hadn't used it much and I'd used the other things a lot. And so I took this apart and cleaned it all. But it like Velcros to stay together and has a handle. I was also hoping maybe if we do camping this summer that this could be useful for that too. So I'll show you on the back real quick. It's got this flap with fabric and it's got like a structured piece of plastic because I slid it out when I washed everything. And this like tucks into the back of your bed. Like think of your headboard right here. And this like goes down so that it doesn't move around. So it opens up. And it's fairly simple. It's just like a small bassinet. And it's got all this mesh. It has hard plastic in here, but it's all open, like it's strips. And then it's got mesh on the inside, so it's more breathable. It has a very thin little mattress. But the bottom is not very structured, so I mean, it seems like it would be fairly comfortable because they're like sitting flat on your bed. It does have a little light too, so if you have to get up with them in the middle of the night, I'll show you, it's just like a little battery light, which I was shocked, it must have still had the batteries in it from before and it still worked. So I just left it. But like it unzips and it has just this one structured piece of plastic for the bassinet that comes out. And I took it out and washed everything. And then this mattress is on here with Velcro. It's pretty strong, so you wouldn't have to, I don't think you'd have to worry about coming up. And this sheet is also removable because I took out the pad and I like wiped it all down with Clorox wipe, let it dry. And then I washed this with the fabric in here separately. It also has like a foot bumper that's structured. It's got squishy fabric around it, but they can't like scoot down because it's structured so that they're just gonna stay in place. And then this is just kind of loose probably on the bed. You probably fold it underneath or something so that it's like that. But I'm going to give this a go. I hope that it works. Another thing I'll show you real quick that I won't use for a while and it's not all put together. But these, I don't know if anyone's seen these Bumbo seats before. Instead of, you can use them basically in place of a high chair. I was given this at my baby shower. This is like two things that I saved that I didn't ask for, didn't know I'd love. Like I didn't even know it existed. A friend gave me this. But it's got this tray in the back that slides out and it actually connects here. And we have like pretty tall seats at our table, so it's not like I'd have to bend over real far either, because that might be a pain if you have like shorter seats. You have to sit in front of them. But it straps, these straps that I have tucked under the foam piece, they strap to the chair to keep it stable so that it doesn't move around on the seat. And then there are straps that I also have that I just didn't grab that strap your child into it. And then as they get older, it's just a booster where the seat is, you don't need to use this anymore. It just nicely, and I love that it stores in the back of the seat. And then you can just take this off as they get bigger, and they have just the plastic that they can sit on. And then these are strapped. That I kept because we had nephews that are younger, and I figured if they came to visit, that was something that was really useful for other kids. So I just kept it anyways, and I'm glad I did, because I think my plan is to not purchase a high chair. So the next two things that I want to share, again, this is another item that I didn't ask for, and I didn't really know that I would like enjoy it as much as I did. Obviously, like, I'm not sure that baby wearing is controversial, but I know some people are like way more in favor of doing it often and some are not, and it really depends on the person. And I can tell you, like, if you have back issues and stuff, I can see where baby wearing would not be the best. But I'll tell you, I had two different experiences though too. But I got the Baby Bjorn, like the original Baby Bjorn, and I ended up really loving it. This was another one that I didn't ask for, but someone had given me as a gift, and I just happened to keep it. Like, I just set it aside, and I recently washed it, and the straps for it. It's extremely easy to put on, for one. The baby is right in front of you. It's not one that they can forward face in. This is 8 to 25 pounds. So my kids came out about 8 pounds. So it wasn't very long before they could use this. And so I kind of think of this as like more of a newborn style carrier, or like very early months. But it's really nice because when you start out, you can have them up like this, and as they get bigger and have more head control, it flips down and snaps into place. So then they can like look around. And it adjusts at the bottom for the length of their body. It's just a really nice carrier. I'm really glad I received it and then found out how much I enjoyed baby carrying. So my second time around having a child, which was very soon after, I had seen a lot of ads and I went for it. Plus I'd seen some moms who had them and really loved them. I purchased the Tula baby carrier, like the original Tula, the big like backpack type straps. It's got a big waistband strap like a day packing or hiking bag. It's got a little snap area for it's got a spot to snap, so if there's like rain or cold or they're sleeping and they're a little bit bigger, you can hook to your carrier also so that the baby or child is comfortable. And I can tell you, I used the crap out of this when I had this. Like I said, the Baby Bjorn is a little bit, in my opinion, more for a younger baby. But this, I think I carried my like 40-pound toddler in it. When I started to be more interested in like my health and weight loss, I wanted to walk a lot and like be able to walk right outside the house. And I would put my, I don't even know, up until he was 3 maybe, I would do the back carrier where he would like be against my back, but he could look around real well. And I think he was like nearly 40 pounds when we stopped doing baby carrying. And I think this goes up to 45 pounds. So it's 15 to 45 pounds. You can buy an infant insert for these. I haven't decided if I'm going to, because 15 pounds isn't like a lot to get to typically. So I'm debating if I'm just going to use the Baby Bjorn for like the first bit only and then switch them to this when they get a little bit bigger. The way that it sits on your body, I felt like my back didn't have to work as hard. Like the Baby Bjorn, sometimes I felt like, you know, the brunt of the carrying was on me. Where this, the way that the weight is distributed, maybe, it just was more comfortable overall. I do know that now they sell a lot more options. Tula, and I know a lot of people like the Ergo Baby, which I think are both fairly similar from what I've seen for the newer ones that have like more snaps and things so that you can like adjust their position in the carrier. So that's definitely an option if you don't have one. I am just gonna stick with what I have. I really like the print that I got. It's like a travel one. I kind of I wanted it to be gender neutral, and I really like blue. So that's the one I have, but they had so many cute prints, and they had now so many different options for carriers. So definitely something to look into if you're interested in baby carrying. Yeah, so that's mostly what I kept for like specific baby items, but I did want to talk about also the shirt that I'm wearing. So I do have a tummy now. Like, I have my pajama pants on. I am 26 weeks as I'm filming this. Probably when I post it, I'll be 27. But I want to talk about nursing tops. So this is Latched Mama, and it's got like this flap, and let's see, it kind of hangs down like this. This is the first time I've worn this. I tried it on when I got it to make sure it fit. I'll tell you what, like nursing and maternity stuff is really expensive. So I choose to try not to buy too much like maternity specific. But these Latched Mama tops are typically made with like more room in them. They do have some more fitted options. But a lot of their shirts are made so that you can wear them for both maternity and then postpartum. I haven't pumped in them because I am not a fan of pumping. I did do it as often as I could with my first son because I was still working full time, but I hated it. So our breastfeeding journey ended at about 6 months or so, which I was happy with. I really, like my goals, I went in small increments. My second, because of the cost of daycare, I ended up being a stay-at-home mom, and I breastfed him like solidly for a year. At about 11 months, he had started to wean, and my milk supply started to drop a little bit, and I didn't work too hard to get it back because I was totally happy with ending at a year. So I did use some supplementing formula during the day, but still like breastfed him morning and night. And I think it was like 13 months. I think we fully stopped at like 13 months, which I was happy with. But I really enjoyed these. The only thing I would say is, as a bustier woman, the way that they sit, but I will say the one thing with being bustier is that if you're worried about like it not being obvious, it's going to be obvious. Like I notice if you're not as busty, it kind of sits more smoothly where you don't have as much of a line to see where like the nursing part is, but then you flip it up and it can pull down on both sides very easily. It's very loose fabric right here so that the baby can access food. You don't have to do the two-shirt method. Although I definitely do the two-shirt method also, but it sits nicely. It's fairly long. It's got a lot of room for your growing belly. And then afterwards, you're not in a really tight, uncomfortable top. I kind of saved these for times when we were out in public more often. But I found that they held their value. After I had my two and my second one was like weaning, I decided to put them on the marketplace on Facebook and see what I could get for them. And I will say they're, you know, anywhere between like $40 and hundreds of dollars depending on what kind of style you get. The shirts are usually like 40-ish, 40, 50, something like that. But I sold two fairly used 3/4 length tops from Latched Mama for like $15 or $20 a piece. And not in like days. They sold like in minutes and hours because of the cost of them, and you can't really just go purchase them. People are looking. So if you're a little hesitant on the price, if you take really good care of your clothes, I think the resale value on some of these like nursing tops are pretty good. So I ended up purchasing this shirt, and this one was on clearance because it's like the crew neck, and I've seen on their website recently, like they do a lot of the V-neck, which I might get at some point because I do really like them. But again, I didn't feel like I needed a ton because if you're at home, you're more likely to just have stuff on. You're not concerned about whipping a boob out. But I did also get, which is dirty, the Harbor Snap pullover. So if you're a mom who's been in the market, you've probably seen the advertised. They sell out a lot, but they restock a lot. I just got a gray one, and I ordered a size up. My shirt, and I also purchased a dress, are 2X. I ordered the Harbor Snap pull-up and a pullover in a 3X, and it's definitely bigger. But I figured it would be nice to have for when the baby was really little, if I was baby wearing, to put over top, because that's what it's intended for. Also for nursing, of course. And then next year, I'm hoping I will lose weight postpartum, but I'll have a nice baggy shirt with a bigger baby that I can wear again in the fall, because I'm doing April. In the fall, I can wear it again with the baby wearing, and maybe through the winter. And hopefully I can resell or gift to a mama. And then I also ordered, and I don't remember the name of the dress, but it's a really similar top, like, shape, but it's full length, and it's like a darker green, and it's got like a tie, or like more fabric here so you can tie it and make it look a little nicer. We had a wedding, and I decided, why not purchase something functional for later? Which, in retrospect, I probably could have just gotten a regular dress because I wasn't showing whatsoever. But I thought it might be a good investment for later on to have, like, in the spring and throughout the summer. I think that if you plan on either breastfeeding or pumping and you need some easy access tops that you're not, like, scrambling to move fabric around, I think they're nice. So just putting it out there that they also resell quite well. And I was able to, like, I got the 2 shirts, and I probably paid like $80 for them, and I got like $30 back. So I thought that was pretty decent. Just food for thought, and because I wasn't working at the time, so I was happy to sell some things that I had purchased and get some money back for those. So as I said earlier in the video, if I said it correctly or I keep it in, I'm 26 weeks right now, maybe 26 and a half. I think when I post this video, I'll probably be 27 weeks because I'll probably wait till the weekend. Yeah, so I'm nearing my 3rd trimester, so I figured I'd do like a 1st and 2nd like trimester wrap up. First trimester was really hard. Which they usually are for me. I think because I was home more, like, psychologically it was weirder because I was just by myself. Or like the first 2 babies, I was working full time, so like I had to go to work, and I would just sit there miserable, feeling like crap and throwing up, having to go to the bathroom, throw up, go out to lunch on my lunch break, throw up, you know, all that fun stuff. So instead I was doing that at home by myself, which honestly, like, I'm grateful that I was able to just relax. But I think psychologically it was more difficult too. I think I get a little bit anxious and depressed at the beginning of my pregnancies. Not horribly. I know comparison to some people's experiences, mine isn't too bad. But I know some people are very fortunate and don't have any sort of illness. But yeah, I definitely wasn't feeling so hot. And mine doesn't just disappear at 12 weeks. I tend to have sort of all day nausea from the time it starts, which is, I don't know, about 6-ish weeks, until to the middle of my 2nd trimester. So that's fun. But I was confident it would go away. I just hate how long it takes. Because like I said, I'm about 26 weeks, and really the nausea didn't really stop until I was like 20, maybe 21. I don't know. I still sometimes feel a little ill, but I have the baby moving a lot, and sometimes I think I feel like motion sick from it. So that's interesting, because my first 2, my placenta was in the front of my stomach, so I didn't feel as much of movement there. But this time I do, and sometimes it like makes me feel motion sick. I feel like that's the most comparable thing to it. But otherwise it's been good. And so far, because of not feeling well and being able to eat very much, I've gained like 4 pounds total so far. So I'm sure I'll gain more in my 3rd trimester. But as like a bigger girl, you're not supposed to gain that much weight anyways. And I am assisted by the fact that I can hardly eat. Even now, like, I have so many food aversions that it makes it difficult. So don't feel guilty if you feel the same way. My baby's still growing great. Once I was able to kick some of the food aversions, I was able to eat a lot healthier. Not that I was eating particularly poorly, but I was sticking to a lot of like soup and crackers. But now I, like my first 2 pregnancies, crave a lot of fruit and salads, which I know is tricky because of toppings and things like that on them that you're supposed to avoid. So that can be difficult, but not so difficult. I try to save like leftover protein from dinner and like use it the next day. I am excited about going into postpartum this time though, is the tools I have after having my kids last time. Because I think when my second was about 2 or 3 is when I decided to really like focus on my health, and I had lost like my 60 pounds or so. And I never gained it all back. I did gain some back over the vid because, you know, we were all just hanging out and making banana bread. But I'm really hoping that with the tools that I learned through all of that, I'll be able to get on track. But also give yourself grace. If you're like me and you feel this kind of excitement to know that postpartum you want to like focus on yourself, but if it doesn't happen, try not to let yourself get down, because it is difficult. You have, every baby is different, every pregnancy is different, every delivery is different, every postpartum is different. Cut it off here, but I just wanted to say, like, give yourself grace postpartum. Don't hold yourself too accountable. Like, try to enjoy as much as you can, because it's difficult, without worrying too much about where your body's at. Yeah, thanks so much for watching. Please subscribe to my page. Like my video if you found it helpful, or if not, just like it, because it'll help, you know, push out my videos. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate every view. I hope everyone is having a good new year so far.